In this lesson, we are going to look at the income statement or the profit and loss and look at the different features that QuickBooks allows you to do for that particular report. So let's go ahead and to our report section, which is under the business overview. We're going to go to profit and loss. Just so you know, you can always change the name of that by just clicking on customize. I know some of you might like income statement, or if you're a nonprofit, you may name it something different. So let's go ahead into profit and loss. And again, up at the top is our way that we can customize our report here. For a profit and loss, you typically do it for a period of time. So for instance, this is this year to date. We may want it only on a monthly basis. We can always do the drop down and just do this month. And like I said earlier in the balance sheet one, there are a lot of options here that we can do. For this one, we're going to do this year to date, but then we're going to go ahead and change it over here to the end of August. Now, in a period like this, where we have 8 months showing, you might want to do a monthly where it shows it by month, so you can look at each month. How we would change that is over here to the display column by. Instead of doing it by the totals, we can move it down here to months, and that will change this to months when we run the report over here. Again, these two are the same as the balance sheet. So if you want to condense it, not show your zero accounts, you would keep it as the default. If you do want to show accounts that are zero on your P&L, then you can go ahead and change that here. If you wanted to compare it to a different period of time, then you can go through all of this. It's the same as what it was in the balance sheet when we went over that. So you can always change that here. Again, if we want to run a cash basis of accounting for our P&L, we would click on cash. If we wanted it on the accrual basis, we would click on accrual. So let's go ahead and do this in cash. We're going to do a P&L by month, and we're going to go ahead and run the report. Real good to look at if you want to look at each month in comparison. It's quick. You can see it. You can see the different accounts, how they moved up. Sometimes you might want to run it, just double check to make sure, everything looks okay. If you just wanted to run just the total, we can always just run it as a total amount here. Notice here we have the name of your company, which would be up here. This is the profit and loss. Again, if we wanted to edit that to something other than profit and loss, you can always hit this little pencil icon, go in, edit it, and change the name. This shows up as the period that we put in up here. And if it was just a month, it would just show up as August here. So now we can kind of go down through. We have our income line items and our sub accounts. If we had cost of goods set up, it would show up here. And then we would have gross profit, which gross profit just means your income minus your cost of goods will give you your gross profit before operating expenses. Then you have all of your operating expenses set up here. And it's very good to go through this and make sure everything's set up correctly the way you want it set up. Again, these are coming from your chart of accounts. So if, for instance, you didn't like the way this was worded, you can always go back to your chart of accounts and change it, and then that would be changed on your reports. Again, your operating expenses all show up here. You get a total expense line item, and then you have your net operating income, which is your gross profit, minus your total operating expenses will get your net operating income. Then you may have other income or expenses that show up down here. In this case, there's a miscellaneous expense, and you would then subtract that from your net operating income to get your net income down at the bottom here. Real quick, you can always go straight into what composes this, say, $228.75 by just clicking on it. It will show up in blue, and it will show you all the transactions that came up to that $228.75. Always good, especially if it doesn't look right. You can click on that. You can see maybe you accidentally set up it to the wrong account. Then you can click on that, go into it and change it and put it to the right account. Again, we can always go back to the previous screen by going up here to back to report summary. And these functions up here are the same that they were in the balance sheet. So we can always collapse this. If we do that, it will get a cleaner look. It won't have any of the sub accounts, and it gives just a cleaner look. Always expand that. It will have all your subs that compose your parent here. You can sort it, add notes, edit your titles. You can do all that here, and again, we can email them, print a PDF. You can, when you hit that email, this gives us that option to be able to add features into QuickBooks, the report, before you send it out or save it to a PDF or even print it out. Maybe we wanted to highlight a couple of line items here. We can do that. We can add text. Maybe you wanted to send this to somebody within your organization, and you just wanted to say, hey, can you take a look at that for me? And you could just move that around, and you can make it bigger, smaller, change the font title, what have you. And then you can save it to a PDF or email it straight to them or print it out. And then the person will be able to see that there. So the really good features here for editing before you actually generate it. And obviously we can export them to Excel or a PDF right from this screen, or print it right from this screen. Same as the balance sheet, and understand this is going to be the same for all your reports. These features up here are in every report in QuickBooks. We can customize it over here to the right. Just like the balance sheet, we can go through, add filters, headers and footers, and we can always save that so that those will show up every time that we generate this profit and loss. So that's your P&L or income statement.
I gotcha.